Hey everybody, it's Rob Williams from the Outer Rim Rookie and the Generation X-Wing podcast. Today, I'm super excited. I get to show you something that I teased about a week or two ago on Facebook. I've got a new costume, and this is like super... let's slow down. About 2 years ago, I did a quick episode of Less Than 14 Parsecs, the second fastest podcast in the galaxy. And one episode I did was about my top 5 costumes. One of them was Hammerhead, Fives, Captain Ethano, Reese, of course, and we're not going to talk anymore about Reese. He had 6 episodes of that already. And also, on that list was this guy. How cool is this? Nien Nunb. Nien Nunb, I don't care. I'm going to pronounce it Nien, just go with it for the next little while. This is super cool. I'll give you a quick little story. I won't go into too much detail, but I had a friend who had created this costume a while back, and he had made the costume, the vest, the jumpsuit, and most importantly, the head. And he even worn it. You may have seen, if you're following me on Facebook, you may have seen a couple videos of it on Facebook. My friend Jai made this costume, and over time, it got passed down from different person to different person, and now I got my hands on it. And I am like super excited. Nien Nunb was one of my top favorite characters in Return of the Jedi, if not Star Wars. I still believe he's still alive. You know, Nien Nunb lives, hashtag. When I found out that it was possible to grab this guy, I did it. And I'm super excited. I'm not only excited because of who he is, but it gives me another project, another video that I get to do. And so I'm going to be starting a series on how to build Nien Nunb. Now, correct that. I can't tell you how to build this, because I honestly don't know how to build this. This here, I will tell you this much. It is built out of, it's a 3D printed mask with fiberglass built into it and painted. There is still some work to be done with the entire costume. I looked at the costume and it's not bad. It was almost approved, but I want to enhance it. I think it's that Terry in me, that Terry Chew in me that just wants to make it even better and more official. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the advice of Terry and try to make this like as close as possible to screen accurate. There are some catches to this whole thing, but first I'm just going to show you a couple things here. Hang on. So the mask itself is 2 parts. The face comes off, rip his face off. Rip it with love and care. Like that. As you can see, it separates. It's just enough to put my head in. It is held on by earth magnets around the outside here. Okay? So I just have to slowly remove it. So I'll step back. Now my chin is attached to this, and if I let go, as you can see, the chin it's on chin to chin here, and so I have to do this just to talk. So, and it'll open its mouth. Now, you're thinking, well, okay, great, you can open its mouth, but you don't do that great of a Nien Nunb laugh, and I admit I don't, but it's just fun to pretend to do. So what do I do in place of it? Well, gotcha, hang on. That's where this comes in. This also came with the set. So in the box here, this is the mic I use for the Biker Scout. So that's not new. That's I've had. But this is. So this here is Nien Nunb. Isn't that great?
Yeah. Okay. Tato hinta patoya.
Can't reach that pinky one.
Alama say, inte ona litiju. Ute ko nishmelehe. Oze. Sweta kra.
He's having a whole conversation on that one. So this is going to help with the whole getup. This is just I'm loving this. Jai did a great job with this. And I remember when I first saw it at the Christmas parade last Christmas, 2018. And I was so excited. And it just, when I saw the mask alone, I was like, super. Then he just went, sold. Absolutely sold. I was just in love with this thing. So this is just going to go underneath the glove. And this, I haven't quite figured out where I'm putting this. Pocket, chest, I don't know. It can't go in the mask, that's for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Tato hinta patoya.
Isn't that so cool? It's awesome. I love this thing. So, what else came with just the mask and the soundboard here? I'll show you. All right, so this is the bin I keep it in right here, just like this. It is smaller than my typical Scout Trooper costume, but it holds everything. I mean, a lot of Nien Nunb is soft, except for obviously this guy right here. In here, I made a little spot for where to keep the head. So using some mattress foam, I was able to just kind of construct a little soft box for it and wrap it up in a towel just to protect it. Now the thing with Nien Nunb is typically when a stormtrooper, scout trooper, all those characters, they have what's called CRL. That is the checklist of what you need and what it should look like to the detail. Sometimes how many lines on the cummerbund, how many lines on the side of a helmet. With Nien Nunb, there's not really a CRL because not a lot of people have actually tackled the costume for the Rebel Legion. Now that's key here. This is a big deal and it's pissing off some of my friends. This is not 501st. This is Rebel Legion. This dude's a good guy. So I have to follow the CRL of the Rebel Legion, which isn't, they're very similar. I mean, the idea of registering and setting up your costume and having it checked is pretty much the same process, but that will come later. So with this, there was a lot of discussion on the boards about what should Nien Nunb look like? How should his costume look? There's a catch. There's about 4 different ways he looks, whether it's the original Return of the Jedi, there is some smuggler look to him, there is a Battlefront, the video game, as well as the new sequels. They're all 4 unique different looks. The one I'm going for is the Return of the Jedi, the original. Now there's another catch. The character was rarely seen waist down. The only time you could see the character as him is in the cockpit, waist up, or wandering in the background while Han and Lando discuss about the safety of the Falcon. There are other scenes where he looks like he's there, wearing his giant B-wing costume with tubes and white stuff. But for me, I don't even know if that's really him, because that's a complete costume change from the scene inside where Mon Mothma and the gang are talking about how to take down the Death Star. And then later on, he's in the background with Lando and Han, and then he's in the cockpit. And then at the end, during the celebration, he's wearing the B-wing costume again. So I guess, the nerds out there are saying, is that the same dude? It's the same dude. Did he change costume? Is it just continuity error? So in my mind, I'm sticking with in the cockpit, where he's really known. All right. So he has a vest. This vest here is not official here. This is actually a Han Solo vest, if you can believe that. Take a look at that. This is a Han Solo vest with the pockets in the right spot down here on the side, and obviously that iconic look on the back there. It's really not official to Nien Nunb. But next, he needs a red flight suit, and that's what we've got here, a red flight suit. Now this flight suit was originally white from what I understand and then dyed red. He has gloves. Flared gloves on either side here. Now these ones here are unfortunately a little bit beat up and a little bit small for my hand. This is where I would keep the sound card and do my little Spider-Man feel to it. He also has gaiters. Now gaiters are the ones that are like shin pads that cover the boots and such. There are tan versions for the original, or leather style for the Battlefront, and I believe the sequel. I'm not exactly sure. I've been following the sequel very well with his design. In the Battlefront, he has a belt with a blaster. Holster with a belt. This is more of a Han Solo belt, as you can see on the front. So what they did was take this belt and reverse it and attach it to this holster buckle, which is, this design is what Nien Nunb has in Battlefront. And so it would hook onto the side here. Now the catch is, this doesn't fit me. This is meant for a 34 waist, and I'm a 36 and sometimes a 38, depending on how big of a lunch I've had. That's my story, I'm sticking to it. But we can't forget the blaster. And this is 3D printed. This is really nice. Take a look at that. This blaster matches more of what he uses in Battlefront, or even the sequel, from what I understand. He never uses a blaster in the movie. So with all that being said, I'm going to put the costume on right now as best as I can and show you what I'm going to be working on. All right? Now, there are a few things that I do want to change in this costume to make it a little more, for me, a little more accurate, screen accurate. First of all, the mask. The light behind the camera is a little bit bright, so it doesn't really show the texture of the skin. But what I would like to work on with this helmet is to try to get it a little more realistic. Typically, a lot of people have latex masks, and the pilot helmet, I guess, is usually real leather. Now, this is obviously not real leather. It does look realistic though. It's got all the nice little lines in there. But I would like to make it a little more realistic, work a little bit on maybe spray painting some texture to the skin, some shading under the eyes, some shadow, all that sort of stuff. The shape of this though, the actual skull shape is bang on. I love it. It doesn't look like a saggy latex mask. It has shape, it has weight to it. It just needs a little bit of a lovely paint job. And the paint job on it is fantastic. When you see this in real life, it looks really good. The eyes themselves are fantastic. You can't see through it. The attachment of a little bit of gum inside, it's just like, it's fantastic in there too. And it fits really well. It's a little bit tight, it's a little bit warm. I was thinking of installing 2 nostrils for air holes in here, and then painting over it so you don't really notice the air holes, because it is a bit hard to breathe. I can't see myself wearing this in summer. I can see why he wore this for the Christmas parade though. It is nice and warm inside. It's padded very well, and that's what it looks like on the inside there. And as you can see, those round bits inside, those are the earth magnets. Like I said, there's what is it? 1, 2, 3, about 6 of them in here. 3 on this side and 3 on the other side. It's quite sturdy, but I still want to treat it with love. And like I said, it's a good shape. It's a very good shape. It's almost action figure-like, and I think that's why I kind of like it especially. So what else do I need to work on? Well, let's take a look at the vest. Now in this vest here, as you can see, it comes in and down. This is a Han Solo vest right here. The Nien Nunb vest actually does not have this. It's more straight down like this. The pocket itself has this trapezoidal shaped flap to it, and down here like this on both sides. This one here's got pockets all over the place, and it doesn't quite match. The back, I don't believe there's anything in the back. The back is pretty much clean, as opposed to Han Solo. It's got stuff there. So this is the vest I think I'm going to have to redo. The flight suit. Now this is pretty good. There is a flap here. It's supposed to come across. Whoops, right down there. All right. But the problem with this one here is the pockets and the buttons are showing, and I think we have to hide this. Also, the collar might have to come up a little bit and maybe round it. I'm not exactly sure. It looks rounded, it looks pointy. But in the end, I've decided I'm just going to get a whole new jumpsuit and make it a B-Wing pilot jumpsuit. And the reason I think it's a B-Wing pilot jumpsuit is because not only is the red, they call it a China red, which is really rich, but also because you see the Nien Nunb inside the briefing room. He's wearing a B-Wing pilot suit like all the other B-Wings. And so I think they may have reused the B-Wing pilot suit. And that's kind of the consensus with a lot of people doing the Nien Nunb cosplay from the original trilogy. So I might have to invest in a B-Wing pilot jumpsuit. And I found one at Imperial Boots that is really nice. So I'm going to stick with them and go for it. It's about $189 US, which for me is not a lot of fun. That's a big chunk. That's a big bite. So, but it is an investment. I might have to, again, it's those things that you save up for. They make quality work and it's worth the investment. Now, also forgot to mention with my flight suit, you may have noticed this here. Now, in the movie, original trilogy movie, he doesn't have this. These do not exist. Now, the B-Wing flight suit does have a pocket that goes down the side, but there's nothing in it when it comes to Nien Nunb. So I'm probably fortunate not to have this, although I do already have 3 of these. These are 3D printed. I believe Jedi did the 3D printing of these ones. I'm not exactly sure, but there you go. Again, I'm fortunate enough I probably won't need these for the original trilogy costume. So that's the flight suit. But what about the gaiters? The gaiters, these leather style gaiters are probably not going to be used. The style, though, of how it's stitched, I guess the pattern of them, are very similar from what I understand. Again, you don't see him waist down a lot of the time except when he's walking in the distance, and you don't really get a good look. So you have to maybe look at old costume designs behind the scenes. But he's wearing a B-Wing pilot costume, so it's a little bit all confusing. But the pattern goes straight down like this and eventually is crossed like this. So it's like a cross, all right? And I believe it goes over and under as well. They suggest a tan or canvas or even leather. It's about this color, but I would like to try, just to challenge myself, I would like to try to make it myself. It looks pretty straightforward, he said, without really knowing what he's going into. I do like this color, and I think I want to use something like this. As for the boots, there are many different styles of boots, but typically a lot of them, the Battlefront has these big sole gripped hiking boots. Other ones are just suggesting regular black hiking boots. There, I got lucky. These are my own boots, and they have grip. They have this wonderful grip to it, lots of treads, and even when you put like a leather gaiter on top of it, you can see where it's going. I even noticed that in some of the pictures of the Battlefront, they have little rings right there. But this was a lucky find, I think. I think I can totally use these ones. And it didn't cost me anything because I've had these for quite a few years. These are my kilt boots. So I love that fact I'm using these boots again. So shouldn't touch the bottom. As for a belt, it's really hard to see what type of belt he has. Because in the movie, you barely see what it is. You know there's a belt there. You can see some belt, but you don't know what it's made of. A lot of people are suggesting white webbing. Now, I don't like the style of it. It just seems to be odd. The reason white webbing is suggested, though, is because the B-Wing pilot suit has that box there, and there's white webbing used in the design of the B-Wing pilot himself. I also have webbing as well. And the webbing is this is from building my Scout Trooper costume. It could be as simple as making a simple white belt, a little Velcro, make a loop, and that's it. This is going to I have to do a little more research on the belt and ask around to see what they're doing. The gloves, as I mentioned earlier, the gloves, this is a great style glove. It is flared, it's a simple pilot's glove. Not a lot of detail. As much as we see him like head up, you don't see his hands a lot. And I think that has a lot to do with the actors or so, because there's someone below the big giant body costume and someone doing this, like a piano playing cat. So with the gloves, I'm fortunate enough, I've already purchased a pair of leather gloves. They cost about $30 Canadian plus shipping, so added up to 45 or so. Prime now. But you get the idea. The gloves will flare a little bit. I don't think it really matters where the lines are on this, as long as I can fit the sound box into this one. So I bought extra large. It should be big enough for my hand and even a little bit bigger to fit the sound box in there. As for the holster and blaster, I probably won't need it. He doesn't have a blaster. I typically don't like to carry a blaster with me on the con because I would normally give high fives, give pictures, but it is an option. I may decide to go back to the holster, make a proper holster, and have a blaster. This also gives me the option of maybe converting the original trilogy Nien Nunb into a Battlefront Nien Nunb, or eventually down the road, maybe think of the sequel Nien Nunb. Hashtag Nien Nunb lives. So there you go. There's a quick rundown of Nien Nunb, Power of the Force figure for the Sandcrawler gang. There's my man. Here's my new man. So thank you again for tuning in, and welcome to step one of a new journey. Just like in the Scout Trooper series, it's a step-by-step beginner's journey to join the 501st. Now, it's a new journey on how to join the Rebel Legion. And this guy's going to take me there. I am super excited about this new project. This is going to take me a while, but I'm committed to making this work. And I strongly feel with the training that I got from Terry Chu and the support that I have from my friends in the 501st, I can really do this. I got fortunate with the helmet and the voice box. The rest is up to me. I'm going to be able to do this. And I hope you can follow me on my journey to becoming Nien Nunb. Thanks for watching. And thank you for getting me to 100 subs. It's so official. I know that's not a lot, but for those 100 people who are watching this, and hopefully more, I hope you get something out of this. I hope it's useful to you. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share, and don't forget to follow me on the Outer Rim Rookie on Facebook, as well as the Generation X-Wing podcast on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, as well as our show, the Generation X-Wing podcast, every Wednesday. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subbing. And remember, armor and costumes are built on hope. Yeah.